Well, first of all, my name is Stacy. That's my man TL right there, Terry Little.
And we are streaming YouTube now, so you can hit us up there too.
All right. So get your comments together. But joining us today as our guest host is a good friend, friend of the broadcast, been around for a long time, Philadelphia zone, Lady Sarcasm. Say what's up to Lady Sarcasm. What's going on? How you doing today?
Hey. I'm telling y'all one thing though.
What's that, Night?
She got the black girl. She got the black girl anthem for the summer.
Yeah,
I'm trying to tell you.
That's right.
That thing is hot.
Yeah,
all of that.
We're gonna work on that. See, Pat is yo, Pat. All right, so Tam, as customary, what we do with the podcast, with you being our guest host for today, we like you to tell the people a little something about yourself, what you have going on, and the things that they need to know about Lady Sarcasm, please.
All right. I am Lady Sarcasm, aka Tam Muhammad, aka Chocolate Bars. That's what my husband called me.
That's what's up. I like that.
So currently I finished a project called Dear Lost John.
Nice.
It's I guess it's still it's kind of hard. Well, it's not hard to explain. It's spoken word music.
That's nice.
What we're using. So, most people know me as a poet, spoken word artist. So now with Real Soul Records, we have spoken word music. So it's 8 tracks. It's a $7 download or download each joint for $1 on RealSoulRecords.com. We released 2 videos off the album. The first one was The One Who Got Away.
Right.
And the second one that we just did is getting the most attention, and I'm so grateful, is Be All of That. But I've got so much love from this video, like just women hitting me up in my inbox like, oh my God, I needed that. This was definitely needed. Thank you so much. This should be the anthem. And I love that everybody is using the word anthem for this, like across the board. And it's been dope. Like the love has been amazing.
With that one there, be all that. Did you expect that response from women when you were writing it?
You know what? I never expect anything when I'm writing, because the way I write, it just comes out. You know what I mean? And
right from the heart, right?
It just spills out of me. And in writing this piece, I definitely was thinking about my mom, who passed away in 2016. And her personality was always so out there. My mom is the first classy, bougie, ratchet chick I've met. She would carry a gun. She'll shoot up. I just learned the story that she just shot at some dudes that robbed our house.
Wow.
Back in the 80s.
She was
that's what mom was, but she was fly, and she was fly.
Mom clapping.
But she was also, you know what I mean? She was also this.
She was a woman. She was also a woman.
Right. So she was just such a mixed bag, and that's what most Black women that I know are. We a mixed bag. You can't put us in no box or whatever. You know what I mean? We're not one thing. We can come at you like this. We also running companies like this.
Right.
With our afros, with our locks, we doing it all. So just because you see this, don't think I'm a certain way. I guarantee you won't be wrong. Don't think one thing about me. So that's what Be All of That came from. He saw it though. When I
he saw what?
He saw that this would be a big response. So he saw the vision of what this would be. So he was absolutely right. So he was the one that saw the vision for what that particular one would be.
So do you think that the response happened as a result of where we are now with the Me Too movement and everything, with women rising up and kind of the story in that piece, Be All That, you're saying whatever it is that you do it, so do you think that it's so appropriate for this time, and that's the reason, one of the reasons why women are responding the way that they are? I
think so. I think it's a perfect it's a perfect time for it. Even we'll talk about the whole should I wear a bonnet outside?
Right.
True.
It is a perfect time for it.
Because the words of that, John, like even my daughter was listening to it and she was like, damn, I like not just the music, but not just the song itself, but she was like, man, I like what she's saying. I like what she kept saying. I like what she's saying.
Well, first of all,
that's where I think that's where rap music needs to start.
Phoenix is about your daughter. Tam said, how old is your daughter?
She'll be 22 on the 25th.
Right. And so it reaches every age bracket because young women as young as her have hit me up, 50 to 60, my aunties who's like 70, like everybody can hear what I'm saying.
Right. And the word, and it's not just understand, it's like what you're saying, you know what I mean? Like be you, be all of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
be the best at it.
Proud to be black,
because it's like, you know what I mean?
Swag the way you wear it. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like when I was growing up, like people would, of course I'm dark skinned, so you know what I mean? I got those shots or whatever. But I was lucky for those shots not to bother me so much. I just didn't understand being teased because I was dark skinned, because my mom was dark skinned. The most beautiful women that I knew was dark skinned, and I would get teased and say I look like Grace Jones, and then I still don't understand.
Wow,
but that's a compliment, you know.
I never understood. You look like Grace Jones.
That as a dig.
Right.
Okay.
You
So it's like be all that. Even when people come at you with the insults, I'm gonna be Grace Jones. Okay, we gonna work this Grace Jones thing right now. That's what we gonna do.
But you know what though? Think about what you're saying though. As we always talk about, even raising men, that you have to see it, and think of the difference in your situation. It didn't bother you because, as you said, the sexy people that were around you, the women with dark skin, you saw it. So it wasn't a dig for you though. So you're proving the point.
Right.
You know that you gotta, a person needs to see it.
Right.
Yeah.
They need to see it, you know. All right. So again, ladies and gentlemen, Lady Sarcasm, the project is out now. She has a couple videos off the Griot Soul label. Eat a Poet, King Shice is up there, so check them out.
You gotta say the whole thing like a pimp named Slickback.
That's right. Eat a Poet MC.
He in the background poking it like, correct him.
All right, tell him to say that thing right.
Oh, wait a minute. We got to do one thing, a little bit of housekeeping. We were scheduled to have Father MC on today, but as a result of, I think he had a scheduling conflict. I think he had a lot going on. He wasn't able to make it, so he wasn't able to make it. So we're gonna move on. All right, he has a lot going on. So we'll get back to that later. So Tam, again, as customary here with Real Brothers, we have 4 topics that we'd like to discuss, and we're gonna put them out there, and you get the option to choose the direction that we go in. All right, so I'm gonna name them. First, we have purpose, meaning your purpose in life. We have, is political correctness going too far? We have Monique, pajamas and bonnets in public. And we have pandemic breakups. What's your pleasure?
Okay. All right, since I picked it, I guess I'll go with the Monique situation. Yeah. All right. Okay. I didn't realize that situation was going to be such a big thing. Like I didn't even, people were talking about it and I didn't, I'm like, all right, let me go. And this can lead into the whole political correctness thing, right?
Right.
I mean, that's up to y'all. I mean, I'm not trying to call order, but
we'll have a night. Taking over already. We listening.
But so with that, I feel like the way my mama raised me was that you don't go to the corner store looking any old type of way or whatever, because when you leave your home, you're representing you, you're representing your children, you're representing your husband, right? So for me, that's what I think about when and I'm an artist. I like art. I like to look like art. So you're really not ever going to catch me on the street.
Right. Not unlike a billboard.
Just tore up, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't wear makeup a lot. Like Stacey, you might know that. Like you're not going to see me in like a full face.
Right.
Like I come out, like I'm not going to wear a whole bunch of makeup. My hair might be in a ponytail, but I'm going to look a certain way where nobody's going to be like, look at Dominic mom, look at E wife, look at sister, look at Gwen daughter, but whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but
yeah, I understand.
So that
for me, like, but the bonnet thing in the airport, I completely understand because you're going on this long ass flight. You want to preserve your hair for when you get off the airplane.
For practical reasons, it makes sense.
Right, but the pajamas and the blankets, I just can't rock.
Let me ask you this:
I'm not going to have on pajamas outside.
But what's the pushback though? What do women say? The women that are against what Monique's saying, or why are they saying? What are the reasons that they're giving that it shouldn't be a problem to do that though? What is the pushback to Monique?
And you know what? Sometimes I think messages are all about the presenter.
Well, who says it right?
Like, and how you say it. Like, I feel like if Monique put this in a stand-up routine, it would be no pushback.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Whatever. Ha ha ha. If Chris Rock said it or whoever talked about it in a comedy routine, but because Monique is tapping her babies on the shoulder and say, "Listen, sister, I don't want you out here looking this way."
Then it's good that she didn't do it then, because had she put it in a comedy routine, people would have thought it was a joke, though. I mean, apparently,
it was a joke, and it would have you would have just moved on.
It would have blew over.
I feel like if somebody like Felicia Rashad gave the same message the exact same way, I feel like it would have been received a lot better.
So you agree with Monique then? You agree with her?
Monique, yeah, I do. I agree with her, except for I'm gonna take the whole airport thing out because the airport and a bonnet, I get. A blanket, pajamas. I don't agree with wearing slippers and pajamas outside. Like, it's certain things like pajamas. Yeah, I feel like I'm just not. Regardless of what any people think about it, I'm not going to feel comfortable. I don't feel.
Now, do we know if she was actually like joking? Do you know if she was being serious? She was being dead ass, or because sometimes comedians try to be funny off the cuff. You know
the way she said it.
Yeah.
The way she said
it was almost like the Bill Cosby joint.
It was very motherly the way she tried to give the message.
And it's people took it like she looking down, right?
Right. Yeah, but the way she said it, she was like, "I'm talking to my young ladies who call me auntie." That's who she says she's talking directly to. So if you respect Monique and you calling her auntie and you love her, she's giving you a message. Right. So if you don't bang with her like that, she's like, okay, but this is who I'm talking to. Right. So the people that she was talking to probably received her message. You know what I mean? But if you already don't bang with her, you're not going to receive that message like at all. And it's just going to go.
See, but you know what though, now, even listen to this though, the tie-in, going back to be all that, part of that is do you, whatever it is you're going to do, do you, and don't care about, and Nike, you said it at the last podcast, you don't care what people think about you because you're comfortable in yourself. So to those folks that say, look, I'm just running to the store. I don't feel like putting on, the bra and the whole get up and the whole nine just to run to the store and back. I mean, is there credence in that also? I think, and could it be that whole issue, not women's lib, what do they call it now? The Me Too movement being pushed too far, where it's saying we can do whatever we want to do.
I mean, I don't think you should relate the two. I don't think the Me Too movement should be mentioned anywhere in that. I just that's something totally separate.
But that's part of
how's that going together?
No. It's about women empowerment, though, right? Isn't it women empowerment that? I
think it's also
if a man can do it,
That's not
why
women empowerment states that
I
a
don't want to
woman
see
can
a
wear
man in
pajamas on a plane.
either. I don't want to see a man in pajamas either. I don't want to
True.
see
Yeah.
people in pajamas. But I mean, if that's what you're going to do, rock out. I'm not personally looking down on you because you wear pajamas outside, because everybody have their different reasons. But I also understand the overload. Like when I ain't even gonna say what part of the city it was. When I lived in a certain part of the city.
Don't say it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. You must be talking about Willow Grove when you lived in Willow Grove, but go ahead.
I never lived in fucking Willow Grove. But I understand the overload of seeing, and I'm an older woman, so I understand. For Monique, it was the overload of seeing so many women and so many bonnets and so many blankets and so many pajamas, because that's how it was when I lived in this section of the city, right? Every time I went to wherever I went, it was the overload of young women in pajamas, in bonnets, and it was just like, oh my God, it's too much.
But you know what? But now let me ask you,
because I'm older and I'm not used to seeing that.
See, and this is where I'm about to go with it though. And this might sound weird, but is there a double standard, and should there be a double standard? Because okay, I guess what I'm asking is, should women be held in a different regard than men?
What you mean with the pajamas?
No, I don't want
just okay.
I don't see how that's like that. That's not a sexist type thing. That's more of a style.
We're talking about a woman speaking to other women.
Wait a minute, say that again, Tam.
Especially we're talking about a woman, an older woman speaking to younger women.
She's
right?
saying that that's not ladylike, right? She's saying be a woman.
Not ladylike.
But isn't she saying be a woman, present yourself like a woman, you represent, right? Isn't that what she said?
Something like, if you're a queen, then present yourself.
Right.
So how is that sexist those days?
No, well, what I'm getting at is that, women, and I think what Monique didn't say anything about men. She's saying, look, queen, you are a queen, present yourself like a queen basically at all times. It's one, now we complain about dudes' pants hanging down too far, but that's a little different. But
that's men, that y'all need to speak to men about that.
Agree. But should women be held to a higher standard as far as that is concerned, though?
I think it's an equal standard. I think there's men that are talking to these young men.
Yeah, men shouldn't be out in their pajamas and no bonnet either.
Right, like men, like there's men talking to other men about the skinny jeans and wearing your skinny jeans under your booty and your booty is out. So there's men having this conversation.
Well, wait a minute, hold on. We don't want to make too many rules around here. Wait a minute.
Y'all see them skinny jeans.
Yeah.
Booty out with the jeans right under. You can't even run from the cops if you wanted to. Like you can't even do anything. Like you can't.
I don't know where that came from.
You can't get away from nothing. You can't do nothing. Like with your booty out and your skinny jeans. The same thing with the baggy jeans in the 90s.
I was gonna say that. We went for
but there's men having this conversation with men. Right. And now there's this woman having this conversation with young ladies or whatever, and she's speaking to who she believes her audience is. You know what I mean? Like she's like, I felt very auntie vibes while she was talking, so I'm not going to disrespect her point of view on it or whatever. So it's like, I feel you, Monique. If somebody agrees with it or not, I'm not going to disrespect her viewpoint, and they should who she's talking to should consider her an elder.
Yeah, speaking of them booty shorts, like if I'm walking out with my wife or something, I'd be like, look at that. That don't make no sense.
Looking at what? You mean?
Like when the chicks be having their booties out and all that.
I was talking about men wearing their booty out.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with a woman. Nothing wrong with a woman.
I'm about to say.
We don't want to see them with their booty out. Yeah, it's not wrong with a woman with a booty out. It's the men
that's wait a minute. We can't control everything.
All right, okay. All right. We're gonna move to the next one. We're gonna move to the next one. All right, Night. We're gonna come to you.
Yo,
The let me see. What was it? Purpose.
purpose.
These are choose a topic.
Oh, I
Purpose.
get to choose one.
Yeah. Has political correctness gone too far?
That's the one I want. That's me, man, right
Okay.
there. Because I stay getting in trouble for some shit, man, and I'm just being me. Like I stay getting in trouble just for being me, man. Like, and I don't understand sometimes. Like, you know, I grew up a certain way, and I'm too old to be worried about like people. Like people these days, they feelings is they like people too soft these days, man. Like they feelings get hurt by the littlest shit. You know what I'm saying?
So you talking about political correctness though?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, I mean,
political correctness.
So are you saying
this
that
is my house right here? Wait. This is my house right here, right?
Right.
Man, sometimes I say stuff in here and my daughter look at me like, Dad, like, and I'll be like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know I said something wrong.
But now, let me chime in because with what you just said, okay, Tam, you'll get it and be able to chime in with what Nike is talking about. When his daughter got his daughter's 20 something, so she's younger. So you're right, their radars are pretty high. But is it wrong? And my response to Terry was that being political correct is one thing, but if it's offensive or if it's hurting someone's feelings, should we adjust? A perfect example
anything you say, somebody gonna take offense to it.
Not anything.
Somebody somewhere is gonna take offense. You can't make everybody happy. You can't make everybody happy.
The football team was the Washington Redskins. It came out that the Redskin is a derogatory term. Native people view that almost like nigger.
Right.
So it was a big uproar, and it's been happening for a while, but finally they did it. The Washington Redskins, the NFL team, finally changed their name. So are you saying they shouldn't have? Is that politically correct?
Nobody talking about no damn Washington Redskins. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about like
what I'm saying though. Go ahead.
For instance, right? I said something. I was talking the other day, and you know, I forgot what I said.
I remember what you said, but
I said.
You were talking about mental. Remember, you were talking about mental illness.
Oh yeah, I was like, I forgot who I was talking about. I was like, he's a retard, and then it was like,
slap him. I wish you could go through that.
My daughter was like,
oh my god.
Yo, you know how many times my grandma called me retarded? Or like how many times she'd be like, boy, stop acting retarded, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
did you hear her? So what was your response to that? Would you say what? You said learn better. What elaborate. See, boy, you go ahead, elaborate, Tam. What were you saying?
You can't say that word no more.
Right. See, and that was my point.
What I'm saying, like, what if okay, all right. So I can understand and say it if I see somebody and you know they're not mentally challenged or whatever, but that used to be a real term, like their mental makeup is retarded. Right. You know, they have a retarded. When they say retarded, they mean like a stunted growth. You know what I mean? It's not it's not like saying, you know, it's not comparable to like the word nigga or cracker or something like that. You know,
But my position was that if we later find that something, and again, it's not that it's new. The difference is now we're paying attention to the people that have been complaining, because at one time they used to say nigga on TV, and you know the movement got strong enough, and now they no longer do in most instances. So my point is that as we get better, and I'll use that term, as we get better, we should be mindful of other people's feelings. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think that's going too far. Somebody said color skin was a racist from the jump, and that's what I'm saying. That Redskin was always a derogatory term. It was just that we didn't care, so we used it anyway.
Because it wasn't us.
because it wasn't us. Absolutely.
Finally. Hey, but what I'm saying, man, like I understand when you say like people's feelings get hurt. Like some of the gay shit, I can understand, you know what I mean? Because I know they've been harassed and all like that with people being homophobic and all that. But what I'm saying is, like, sometimes, you're just talking and like people get upset, when you just I just don't get the sensitivity. Like, I think people have gotten up to a point where they're too sensitive. You know what I mean? Like, everybody, just like this dude said, everybody gets a trophy and orange slices.
Yeah,
everybody ain't supposed to get a trophy.
Participation.
Right. Everybody not supposed to get a trophy. There's supposed to be a winner and there's supposed to be a loser. That's life.
But no, but no,
That's
but
life.
I agree with that though. In a race, you're right. If a race is a race, but that has nothing to do with being politically correct. I think that being politically correct is taking other people's positions and feelings into consideration, which I think we should. I don't think
I think we should too, better. But I think it goes to a point sometimes where it goes too far. That's the only thing I'm saying. Like,
well, yeah, no, I agree with, because it's like what I always say: everything ain't dead.
So like everything ain't like something they can cancel you for. You know what I mean? Everything ain't something you can cancel you for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the cancel culture is like, it's needed, but then it goes too far. It's like, I believe that for what the cancel culture was like almost created for, it ends up going a little bit too far. So now y'all canceling people,
right,
for everything, for stuff that you've been knew existed or whatever. Like, it was like a.
But you know what though? But again, Tam, even if we know that it existed, that doesn't make it right, and it doesn't make it less perfect.
No, it doesn't make it right. It's definitely bring light to a thing, draw attention to it, hold a person accountable.
Exactly.
But some instances, I don't think it deserved for people to get their whole lives taken away from them or whatever. Because if I'm 17 or 18 years old and I do something dumb that I took time for, I got my punishment for, and then y'all finding out about it 30 years later, and now my whole life is ruined. I think it's unfair, because I already served my punishment for what I did, and I was a kid.
Right.
I got another good example for you.
That is like,
I agree with that.
I got another good example for you. You remember that Senator Al Franken?
Yeah.
He used to be
right?
Yeah. He used to be a comedian, right?
Yeah.
So he's on a USO tour, and he's a comedian. He's on a USO tour, so he get behind this girl that's asleep, and he not really touching her, but he made a picture with him with his hands, in front of her, like this. He was behind her, but he was like this, right? Mm-hmm. That's why he lost his seat.
But that wasn't the only thing, though, Nike. It wasn't only that. There was a few things that came out as it related to Frank.
Nothing that was proven. Nope.
No,
they pressured him to give up his seat before he would. He didn't have a trial. He volunteered to give up his seat because it was causing
that's the other thing. He volunteered.
But it was causing such a commotion. Look at these Republicans that's in. Okay, what about Getz? He taking little girls to Florida. Little girls.
Senator Getz, he's from Florida. Right now, he's being investigated because he was taking
human trafficking
to Bermuda. But think of the difference that what you just said though, and this is real unfortunate. The difference is some people hold themselves to a higher standard. The Pelosi and the Democrats put so much pressure on Franken, he had to leave. The Republicans didn't do that. Right. They didn't put any.
Who's
Trump.
The stupid one in that equation?
Well, I just said that. I said, maybe he shouldn't have volunteered his seat. Maybe he should have said, "I'm going to stay here and ride this thing out." You know what I mean? He stepped down. Huh?
Yeah. I just think, man, some of this political correctness is like overboard, man, for real. Like, I mean, I can see if you saying something to maliciously hurt somebody. I know the difference between that, right? But if you just talking, or like even some comedians now, they don't even have the space to say stuff that they used to be able to say.
Comedians get, I think, out of everybody, they get more of a pass than anybody else. Put it that way, as they should. They should.
But they don't get
not
as much of a free pass like they used to.
Yeah.
Now somebody said only Democrats have a high moral standard. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that in the instance that Terry brought up, the Democrat Senator Franken, after he got pressure from the top, Pelosi and those guys, he voluntarily gave up his seat when the Republicans, and there was a bunch of them, not just Getz, it's coming out all the things that they did. They got no pressure from their leaders, and they remained in where they are. So I'm not saying only one has a moral compass. I'm just saying, based on these facts, this is how things played out.
Somebody said being politically correct is being deceptive.
They say
strategy.
They say what?
Correct is being
politically
deceptive.
Being deceptive.
Is being deceptive?
Yeah, who said that? We would like to know who said that and what did they mean. If
you agree with that? Wait a minute. What's this? Can you repeat?
I think some of it is being deceptive. It's because you got to curb things.
So it's in your heart.
Like
it's in your heart.
You got to curb so much sometimes that it ends up being unrecognizable because you have to be politically correct.
Just like they said with the gay community, tried to drag Dave Chappelle. He talk about that all the time. How transvestites don't like him. Dave Chappelle, the gay community, tried to drag him.
Yeah. Well, see, but you know what, Nike, that spills.
Kevin Hart.
Would you say? Oh, Kevin Hart was another, but he came out with an apology really quickly.
That's why he lost the Grammys.
Oh yeah.
I mean, or whatever, or a joke he said, and that's what I'm like. I don't know, like.
Right.
It's hard. It's rough.
It's rough, but as I agree with Tam,
especially old school like me. You know what I mean? Sometimes I stutter a lot because I be trying to like make sure I'm saying the right shit because I be like scared I'm going. You know what I mean? Because you know how I talk, Steve. I saying the wrong shit, and now this shit is being filmed and videoed and everything else.
Yeah, we gonna
bring got me on tape.
Years from now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Nike, this bleeds into what we talked about last week, though.
Right.
Even there has to be standards and norms because we all have to coexist. So we still have to, we can't let, if it's something that's offensive to a group of people or something, they're still a part of the public square. So we don't want to be saying things and doing things that they just find reprehensible. Right. And to Tammy, which what you said, I mean, if it's in your heart, that's one thing. But when you come to the place that we all share in the public, you have to conform.
What do we used to do when we go down to 6?
We let it all out.
We be bussing.
We let it all out.
You heard all kind of crazy shit down there, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, from A to Z, right?
Right.
So you're trying to tell me that, a regular person wouldn't be able to have a conversation. Like we wouldn't be able to take a regular person with us down to 6 and just kick it like normal. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. Like, why is that? I mean, we shouldn't have to change up like that, especially, you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, well, see, man. I think there's a difference though when you talk about amongst friends, because normally friends have the same or shared type of value system, or normally sound alike or talk alike, or so I think it's a little different. I don't know if any homies of ours would have been down there offended by us, some of the things that we said. They would expect it.
Right. That's right. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, so do you have to always be in, like, just like we have, it's two Terrys actually, right? So it's TL.
Oh, right.
And then there's Terry. Terry is the guy who's a computer engineer, blah blah blah, all that bullshit, right? Mm-hmm. Terry is just the dude You know what I mean? He just him. He just chilling.
Right.
You know.
Well, but
But you got to know, like
that's right.
it's rough because you got to know who to be and when to
Mm-hmm.
be that. You know what I'm saying? So
You know what, Night? I think we all do.
it's kind of messed up. Like I don't think you should have to be that way.
We all do. We all do. You know. All right. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. All right. Next two we have left is purpose, and what was the last one? Purpose and pandemic breakups. All right. Okay. All right, Tam. What you want to do? We got my man playing in the background. If I were your man, say it again.
Pandemic breakup should be in that.
Okay.
Pandemic breakups for 2000.
All right. Okay. Okay. Yes. You're going.
So.
Well, first of all, where did this come from? What made you think about this as a topic of discussion?
I thought this was your topic.
Don't try to. No, I'm just playing.
Oh,
that was your topic. That was your topic.
You're right. Yeah, y'all just renamed
it. Right,
we tweaked it. Okay.
Let's go.
All right, we're gonna go.
Like, this wasn't my topic.
You get there in trouble.
Like, I picked that shit.
Push it back on me.
No, we only good. We get you in trouble.
He like, what you mean that's your topic?
We had fun in the house.
Yeah, he like, what you mean that's your topic?
Absolutely not. So, but no, because one of the things because me and E, we know this to be a fact, but one of the things that we talk about is that we feel bad because we actually got stronger during the pandemic, right? So so it was a time where, like, before the pandemic, I was going out a bit much. Like, I was like, because I work in Old City, and so I would hang out with friends, like, after work, go to a happy hour a couple of nights a week. I would. So it did become like a bit excessive.
I guess he was like, my girl like to party all the time. This pandemic so
all right, go ahead.
So, but during the pandemic, like with most people, is what I read is that people are forced to face certain things when they don't have whatever their hobbies was before the pandemic, right? Like, because people use their hobbies and the things they do outside of the home almost like alcohol or a drug. It's like it's a cover up or whatever. So you're not dealing with whatever issues you have or whatever at home because you got all these other things to busy yourself. So now you're home and you're forced to face everything. But if it was possible, we got like 10 times better throughout this whole thing. We were forced to be together, but it was fantastic. And now I don't want to leave home. Like, now it's like, when I think of going out, like, we just celebrated our anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
I had
happy anniversary. Yeah,
thank you. Yeah. I had Malika's Kitchen. Malika, shout out to Malika's Kitchen. Like, I had her make a meal and bring it to the house, and I decorated the dining room like a restaurant with the white tablecloths. I decorated the room with the white linen and the rose petals and everything like a hotel. So it's like, I'm so used to doing everything.
Okay.
But, you know,
we listened, Tad. We listened.
So that's what I did. You know, and I looked cute. I had my white stuff on when he came home. Like, I hooked the house up. Like, I love doing things at home now so much, especially.
Hey, say you listening?
So let me ask this then. So do you think that because of the pandemic, you know, it, like you said, we didn't have the outlets that we would have normally had, the ability to just escape. You had to be creative. And it forced us, like you said, to be creative. And, you know, like you said, either you rekindle or you flame out. You know, and like you said, I think it exposed the fact that you're sitting there and there's really nothing to talk about, because normally you could go sit in the movie theater and not say a word.
Yeah. I gotta say, man, it takes some getting used to.
Just being in the crib.
Yeah. Well, not being in the crib, just like if it's just y'all two in there, you know what I mean? We was like what do you call it?
Nah, you get
Nesters,
the point.
empty nesters.
Nesters, right.
Yeah, so it was just me and her. So we was just, you know what I mean, doing our thing. And, you know, it's rough when it just get monotonous, you know, sometimes. Like, so you have to like break up the monotony with a little, like, build, like, she done built up the whole yard, like in the backyard. She done built the fireplace, patio,
Right. Yeah.
You know what, though? Let me ask y'all this
garden,
then.
the whole nine. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask y'all this then. Is it really the fact that you have to, I mean, and I guess it's the case with a relationship, you have to want to do that.
Right.
You have to want
That's
to do it.
like if you don't want to create a space in your home or whatever, because that's what I started doing the same thing. Like I hooked up the backyard or whatever, so got some furniture out
Had
there.
projects and all
I
that.
gave my son room, a classroom, and you know I had all these things to do to make our home. Like we don't want to leave our home, but if you're not willing to do that already, so I think most of these breakups were already situations that were probably on their way out, but people like to ignore a problem. We know Black folk, like a lot of time, like the way I grew up with our parents and stuff like that, they don't talk about their issues or whatever. So it's like when you're forced to just be in this space and confront everything because you're with this person every day. So I think a lot of these situations were probably already on its way out if the opportunity presented itself at some point.
Right. Yeah. See, and
what about you, Stace? You ain't give us your views on none of this stuff, man.
I was gonna say that was my point, though. I think that it either does one or the other. Either it exacerbates underlying issues that were already there. But again, I think you have to want it. You know, because if you don't want it, and when I say want it, I mean want to do those things, because if you don't want to do those things before, you could cover it up by saying, okay, let's go out, or I'm going to go out, or you go out. And you didn't have to, it wasn't as in your face.
Right.
Now, you have nowhere to go. So like you said, it's two people coexisting. And that's the other the thought that I wanted to get back to. Especially nowadays when you have options, you know, everyone has options, you know.
What you mean, options? What you mean, man?
Well, think about it.
Clear that up. What you mean you got options?
Think about it. I think that, you know, in that I think that's one of the reasons that relationships don't last as long as they did before, because your options now are so much greater. Before, you know, and I think I said it one time before, you were limited by what was in your circle, what was directly around you. Now you can reach out so much further. You know what I mean? You can communicate with people all around the world. So if there's any kinks there, if there are no kinks, if there's a kink there, you're gonna really see it, because now I really don't have to deal with that kink. What? You see what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense.
What?
You don't understand what I'm saying?
You're saying like if like before the pandemic, say it again.
You see, like, I was trying to rhyme with you, but that was dumb. I just think that pre-pandemic, I mean, nowadays in general,
you didn't have to deal with all of the things if you didn't want to, but you had other things to do. But now you're like,
now you're right. Now you're in close quarters, and you can't take advantage of those other things. You know, you can't go out. It's more obvious now. You know what I mean? It's more obvious now. You know, you're just existing.
Yeah.
Right.
But
existing,
and like little things become big things.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Because you know what I mean. You see them more. You know what I mean? And you like, you know,
that always bothered me.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But I know I got on my wife's nerves. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
like,
I know I got on my wife's nerves.
You're like,
I can catch her looking at me like,
like. I mean, so. Well, you know, though, but I guess the offshoot of that is that, you know, maybe as a result of that, it will make people, you know, it'll make you say, okay, you know what? Either we're gonna stick or we're gonna move. You know what I mean? You know,
I like that. gonna stick or we gonna move. All right, write
Either
that
we gonna
down.
stick or we
Yeah,
gonna move. You know, because especially and nowadays, and you know, and I guess that's a question though. And I was thinking about that earlier when we were thinking about the topics. You know, a lot of marriages and relationship, there you go with the crack pipe. I knew he was gonna bring it out because it's been a while. We both drink. You see him tell.
Crack
Why
pipe.
you say crack, man?
Don't do that.
It look like it.
There you go.
But I just think that now that's what I was thinking. We seem to be so much less tolerant. Is that a good thing? I mean, nowadays, you know, before I think in relationships specifically, they tolerated more. Okay, I didn't like that, but I'm gonna stay. Now people are saying, I'm not, you know, I'm not, I don't like it.
We got the
I'm
highest rate of
tolerating
divorce since the pandemic, since
Right.
in like
Right. You know
forever.
what?
50% of marriages fail. But what I'm saying is that people in general now are less tolerant of things that they don't want to deal with. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing though?
It's because of the internet.
It's
People have way more
That's what
choices.
you have more options. But
you have more options than you used to have.
But is that a negative thing though? What you say, Tam? Uh-oh.
I don't know if
He's
it's
standing next to you. Is he standing? You gotta get out the room, man.
No, like I don't. So I don't. All right, because I was just talking to my niece today, where you know she went through a breakup that I don't think a few years ago that she didn't get to like really deal with, right? But I was explaining to her where she did some things earlier on in the relationship, and then they decided to start over, and then he did something, and she broke up with him. And I was saying to her, like, so if you want it to work, like you was saying, like it's easy for certain situations to work. Like somebody posted on Facebook, like can a relationship go back to normal after somebody
wow.
right?
Now, you know,
I said
you have to have therapy. You can't. It ain't going to just go back to the way it was.
I was like, you
have to want it to work, right?
Because normal is where the person cheated. So you never want to get back to what you were. You gotta come together and find something else because that normal shit didn't work already.
Right. So why go back to that?
I get back there.
But you know what though? Now relating it to music and this line that Babyface wrote. Of course, he's the writer. That's my man. I think it was "And Our Feelings" was a song. One of the lines was
Easy Player.
The bond was broken.
Like, that's my man.
I'm a big Babyface. I'm a big Babyface fan. But what he said was the bond was broken. So you know when you're talking about breakups, something can happen, but it not break the bond, and you can get past it. But then sometimes when that bond is broken, and now again, like we just talked about with the pandemic, now you're just existing. You can't get back.
Just existing. Because people don't know how to be friends. Like a lot of people say that their spouse is their best friend. I don't think a lot of people know what that actually means. Because can you sometimes put your own hurt to the side and deal with your friend? Like, why did your friend?
What do you mean? Put your hurt to the side.
Sometimes in relationships, you have to learn to, okay, this person did something to me, but what if this person didn't do something to you? What if this is not something that's actually happening to you? What if this something this person did because he's unhappy with himself? So can you at that point put your own emotions to the side and help your friend out?
As a friend.
Or maybe it wasn't personal at all. Like a lot of times people get in a real relationship problem over misunderstandings. You know what I mean? Like because of communication issues. You know what I mean? Like that's the most important thing that a couple can have. You have to have communication. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, but then where is that line then? You know, where is the line between what is that thing that causes the bond to break that whereas you can't get it back versus where you can basically sustain after anything, where because that bond is there. You know what is the thing?
Friendship was never there. It was never a friendship built. That's
Or you
like
have to want to be in a
But
relationship
you said
too.
the foundation wasn't tight.
the foundation wasn't tight, and like intention. Like if you think somebody has a bad intention towards you, you can never get back anything. You can't get back
Hard to hurt
trust if you think the person had a bad intention. If I think somebody did something to me, like, oh, you fucked up and you meant to hurt me and you meant to do this to me, and it's all about me, what you did to me. That intention,
That's not gonna work. That's not
right.
gonna never
So if
work.
you start off like, I know this person loves me, I know this person wouldn't want to see me hurt, I know he has good intentions or whatever. If you start off with knowing that this person has good intentions, then you can build something from that.
And then sometimes too, you have to look from the person's point of view, you know, not always your own point of view.
True.
You know what I mean? So it's like, how bad do you want this relationship? You know what I mean? Maybe you was, you know, maybe deep down you might have been done with the relationship anyway. You know what I mean? So then when something happens, you're like, oh, fuck it, I'm out. You know
There
what I
it
mean?
is. And especially
You know
if you
what I'm saying?
waiting for it. If you sitting
Right,
around
you waiting
like,
for it, right? That to happen.
waiting
Because
for it, it's going to happen.
if you really wanted to be with that person, you would be like, look, we're gonna have a talk. You know what I mean? We're gonna have to either we're gonna talk it out, we're gonna see what the issue is, or we're gonna talk to, you know, a counselor. If it's all depends on how bad you want to be in that relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
and I mean, and to wrap it up again, like we said, I think, you know, the pandemic forced us, all of us, to deal with things that, you know, that we found it easier to ignore in the past, you know. And I mean, and with that being said, I mean, I'm sure the other shoe hasn't dropped, you know, things are just starting to open up. So, you know, we probably going to see a lot of fallouts even after this, you know what I mean? You know, so.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, if the pandemic exposed fault lines and now things are open back up,
it's like, I'm out here, bitches.
Yeah,
like we out here. No, that's bullshit.
Right, exactly. You know? Yeah, so I think this pandemic exposed a lot. You know, and I've been saying that for the longest. I think that, you know, whether it relates to business, you know, I still, you know, the markets, I still think that is going to be a lot of things that are going to still come as a result of this pandemic. I think, you know, we still have some way to go, you know.
Yeah, I hope it's over like they saying it is. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of people still not vaccinated and everything, and you know they just open shit up all willy nilly. You know.
I mean, but we're coming to the end of it. Yeah, I think we're on the downside of it. Put it that way. It's not over, but we're coming to the downside of it. You know, and you know, we still have to run the country. You know, you can't just stay closed until you get 100% of the people vaccinated, because then what's going to be left when you decide to reopen? You know.
Right. Somebody said the flu is still here.
Say it again.
Y'all wrapping up with purpose.
Yep. Purpose. All right. So all right. So we're gonna run with that now, and when the topic of purpose,
go first on this one, Black.
Yeah, I'm good with that. What we were talking. Somebody said the flu is still here. See that's a person. That's a non-vaccinated person calling it.
Like, but I had the flu last year. I ain't died.
It ain't real. That sounds like one of the unvaccinated people.
Unvaccinated.
But anyway,
I had the flu last year. I'm still here.
That's one of the ones that talking about they're not getting the theme because the spoon is COVID. Real with their full hat. Real. All right, I'm just joking. You got a full hat. All right, perfect. All right. So this came about. Actually, one of the posts that he put up was, and it related to poetry, and actually, I had a conversation with someone earlier today talking about this, and it. What I want to throw out there to you all as it relates to purpose is, when you talk about your life's purpose, you know, everyone has a purpose. What is the effect if you don't know what that purpose is, or if you don't realize that you have a purpose, and if you're not pursuing anything? You know, what are the effects of that? You know, I can see personally, I've always thought that there was something that I needed to be doing. that drives me. That makes me move forward, you know. And to me, for me personally, it has always been something bigger than myself, whether it be doing this podcast, whether it be Dowling's Palace, uh, employing people, or Just Words, or Just Jazz, supporting the arts. It has always been something that was bigger than me. So I personally truly believe that everyone has a purpose, but what happens if you don't know that you have a purpose, or if you're not pursuing that purpose? What are the downsides of that? What do you think, Tam?
I mean, I think I've absolutely been there. And I think I'm actually just with this new project finding what my purpose is. I'm not saying I'm just finding it, I'm stepping into it.
There you go. Yeah.
With this new project, but my purpose, I feel like, has always been, which I am now stepping into, is that I feel like I'm giving messages that I wish someone had given to me, right? So most of the things that I write about is for women. And it's absolutely, and most of it is relationship based, or is about Black women in particular, Black women. And it's just all messages of either self-empowerment, or girl, you better walk away messages, or girl, like, take accountability for the things that you've caused as well. So it's not like we're in my past. It probably was like a little bit of a little man bashy in my past.
In the beginning. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Like, in the beginning, but now I can look at certain things and take accountability for stuff that I may have caused or whatever. So I think, like, a part of my purpose is to get these messages that I wish somebody gave me in my early 20s when I was 18 or whatever. So it's like, as far as messages goes, sometimes it is about the presenter. Like when I said it could be a bad presenter, but if Felicia Rashad gave the same message, how would that have been received? I'm hoping to be like a good messenger for certain people. Like, I'm just hoping, like, and I know that a lot of people have received certain messages from this album. Like, if you look at the album, the titles alone, like, it's one that's called I Don't Need a Man, but it's not about not needing a man. It's about needing my man or whatever. So it's like, yeah, I don't need a man. I don't need just any old man all willy-nilly.
Right.
I need my provider, my baby father. Even when the well runs dry, he still walks on water. It's like, it's a whole vibe.
Yo, that's good. Nice.
But I don't know, that's my purpose.
Let me ask you this then. With you saying that you now feel like you're stepping into your purpose with this project, how does it make you move in life? How does it make you wake up in the morning? I mean, do you feel it? Is there a difference?
Yeah, I think so. For the past couple of years, there's been a great difference for me. I've been definitely more confident in the things that I do, and even how I present myself to the world. Definitely, it just feels definitely stepping into a regal. I'm going like this, like, because that's how it feels. Like, I didn't get you this, so like, it's like
hump in the back. Makes you put your hump in the
back. I'll be 43 in August, and so it's like turning 40, like at 41 up. It's like we here. Or whatever. It's like, it just was like a whole different thing. Like, I woke up one day and was like, fuck it. Like, you know what I mean?
It's me. Be all like, that. Be all that. Be all that.
So Black.
All of it. Grab it, step into it, own it. It's about owning it.
Since we getting close to being at the end of the spot, at the end of our time, you still ain't tell us what you know what I mean? What's your purpose?
You know what, Nike?
We tired. Come on, yeah, let's go.
You know what, Nike? Personally, I think that I mean, even though when we first started talking about purpose, I wasn't going to it with the idea that we were going to talk about our specific purposes. I was more or less looking at it from a higher
All right, all right.
3,000 mile vantage, meaning, that everyone needs to look for their purpose. Personally though, to answer your question, like, I think that my purpose is to take advantage of teachable moments, and whenever and wherever I see that there's something that I should do to help in the way that I can, do it. Whether now I think that I have things that I'm strong at, and it's people. It's dealing with people. I think that is my strength. Communicate.
So I'm throwing the bullshit flag on that.
What you mean? Why you say though? Why you say?
Because we know we discussed what we talked about. I ain't gonna talk about it, but what your purpose is.
I mean, but that's still a purpose though.
Right.
That's still a purpose.
Just like we know what your purpose is. I discovered what my purpose is. You know what? I used to be depressed because I didn't know what my purpose is.
Right.
I was going to ask you that. Serious. I went through serious depression because I didn't know what my purpose in life was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know what my purpose in life is now.
So what do you think? I mean, so knowing that
my purpose in life, I believe, is to lead people. And when I say lead people, I'm not talking about like I'm the next Jesus or anything like that. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm here to educate people, to try to make people's lives better. You know what I mean? To try to organize people, to try to make, change it, just make people realize that they can make a change in their life. I think that is what my purpose is.
So how does it make you feel then, like knowing that you think you have a purpose now? How does it feel? And
it feels like it gives me energy. Like sometimes I can barely sleep. Sometimes I can't sleep because I'm thinking about like, oh man, I could do this, I could do that. You know what I mean? If I had the right resources, man, like I would have like so many organizations, like the one I was talking about with God. We was trying to get that one together. I mean, it's just so many things out there that I want to do, because I know I'm I'm closer to the end than I was at the beginning. And there's a few times like
or you just at a different stage, because now, like, I think the difference where we are now, that our purpose has more to do with imparting information. So when I talk about what I think my purpose is, and I talk about teachable moments, that's my thing. I talk. I'm around. When I said it before we came on. If someone calls me, because a lot of people don't call, especially men, don't call just to say, yo,
just to be calling.
Exactly.
Right.
But when I get that call, I feel obligated to engage that person in conversation, because most likely they were reaching out for a reason. That's a part of it. So. But imagine the person. Imagine how the person feels that don't even think about having a purpose, or
that's what I'm saying. Like I've been through that. Like I've been through the whole, like, being depressed, all that shit, like, contemplating suicide, because I'm like, what I'm here for? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Right, exactly, right.
You get what I'm saying? But now I have a purpose. I've been shown my purpose, actually. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I can't explain to you how I feel, but it just gives me all this energy. Like I'm supposed to be doing something. You know what I'm saying?
It drives you. It drives. You know what? That could be one of the reasons why we have so much violence now, because these young people don't realize that they have a purpose.
They have a purpose, right?
They have a purpose,
and they have no hope. Some of them,
and those two pieces right there go hand in hand.
Hand in hand, purpose and hope.
Purpose and hope. Because you, if you're standing on the corner like you just said, Nike, and you think that you're just here taking up space, why get up in the morning?
Right. Or why do you care about like encroaching on somebody else's space? You know what I'm saying? Or like what? I think, and that's what I think I'm here. I think I'm here to reach people like that, because that was me. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't come through all the shit that I came through there's a few times when I shouldn't be sitting here right now. Like there's a few things that happened in my life where I should actually be dead. Like
some of that dumb shit you should do.
Yeah, but exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
I know.
and like these young guys that's out here doing this stuff, that used to be me
Yeah.
out there. You know what I'm saying? So I know what they thinking. You know what I mean? I can relate to them, and hopefully I can get them to relate to me. You know what I'm saying? So,
you know what though? Maybe that's a thought to all of us that interact with these young people, especially these young men. Maybe the question has to be, what are you into? To start drilling down into, what, I mean, and it can't be a surface conversation, because you ask them on that, what are you into? They're not going to really probably understand it initially, but no, I mean, what are you into? What do you like? Because that's the way that you can then drill down into, well, then there's your purpose. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
right.
You know what
Somebody
I mean?
said, why does it always have to be a higher mission? We're not saying that it needs to be a higher mission, but everybody is called or has a gift. Everybody has their own specific gift. So if you just find out what your gift is, and
and your mission, it could be to one person.
Exactly. Right. That's true.
It doesn't have to be such a wide thing that you're reaching millions of people or anything, but your purpose could be to one person. It could be to your son or your daughter or whatever, but your goal it could be just to save this one little life.
Yeah, like when my son got murdered, I was like, it took me a while to see that, because I went through a deep depression and the whole shit. You know what I'm saying? But I when I came out of it, I felt like those is the people that was a calling for me, just me personally, because how mad could I really get? I know the guy killed my son, but I know what my son was into too. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that I'm not mad about it. I am. If I ever, that's another thing.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, like, I know what that whole thing is about. You know what I'm saying? I know when you out here thinking you the baddest man on, I got my gat and I'm doing this and this and that, and it's all stupid shit. But they care. You know what I mean? They don't have no prospects. They don't have no hope. So you got to give people hope before you can say put the gun down. Because what they gonna put the gun? Why they gonna put the gun down if they ain't got? If you can't show them where to go and what to do and like how they can get money, without killing nobody and all of that, why should they stop?
Now it was interesting. Someone said, can you simply be there to support and take care of your family and loved ones? Yes. And that within itself can be a purpose, because people see
your purpose.
Right. But what I'm saying is that even doing that, you're teaching other people on the way to move through life. You know what I mean? So because you're a role model, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right.
That in itself is a purpose, because you're a role model. You're showing.
I can look at 2411 North Patton Street, and I can say, look where I came from. I was you. You know what I mean? Look what I did. And I didn't do it with a gun. I didn't do it by, hurting nobody and none of that. You know what I'm saying? You just have to you do it with this, man. This is how you get over with this up here. You know what I'm saying? And I really would like to have my chance to teach young kids that, man.
But I think, like we said, though, a lot of it, and and this is bringing the whole thing full circle where we started talking about Monique. A lot of times you don't have the person asking them the question. If they're not in it and seeing it and living it with someone, no one is saying to them, you're a queen. You represent X, Y, and Z, and maybe you consider, or like we just said, no one's asking that young dude, what are you into? What are you into? What drives you? What makes you get up in the morning right now? So again, I guess maybe it's just
what I'm saying, we got to make them want to be a real brother instead of whatever else. You get what I mean? Like, we got to get them to want to be get them watching our shit, get them educated on different shit. You know what I mean? And then how to teach them how to go out here and find jobs and see what resources we have available for people. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the way we reach young people. You can't just like a lot of people kill me sitting back like talking shit like, oh, they doing this and that and this and they ain't shit and
Right.
But what are you doing? What are you doing to try to help them? Like, sitting back talking shit that ain't doing nothing for nobody. Right. You got to get out here and try to reach somebody. At least we trying.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. It's like I feel good because at least I'm trying.
Right. All right. So, Nike, I think we're winding things down. We have two things though. First, Tam, is there anything that you would like to say in closing as we start to close down this episode of Real Brothers?
Nah. No.
You said, nah. Come on, man.
No, thank y'all for having me though. I just, download the album on RealSoulRecords.com. It's a $7 download. They're Lost John, and browse the site, see what else you like there. But yeah, I do hope other people like find your purpose. Like even if it's to one person, if it's this or that, even if it's this, it's still that because it's your purpose.
I like it. If it's still this, it's still that. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the artist, the wordsmith. You know what though, Nike, you got anything in closing, man?
Yeah. I know we didn't welcome anybody to our digital neighborhood earlier because we had a little bit of technical difficulties because of our company Gremlin. But I just wanted to say to everybody, thanks for watching, and we wanted to welcome you to our digital neighborhood. We hope you stay with us because we plan on doing this for the long haul.
That's right.
And also, I want to thank everybody who participated in the Black Dollar Blackout.
Nice.
We plan to
we're gonna keep at it. We're gonna keep at it.
We're gonna keep doing this like every year until we get that thing to where we want to be. Because like I feel that we marching is good and protesting is all right, but we got to learn to use our real power, man, and that's what I'm gonna be preaching, man. Like not preaching, but
right now, yeah,
that's what I'm gonna be putting out there in the universe. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to start being able to come together and be united, man, and stop being in these little teeny pockets all over the place.
That's right.
Yeah, like each one teach one, and we can just grow it like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to thank everybody for participating.
And the same thing, I want to echo what Terry said. First, thanks Tam for coming on. I've been around these poets for a long time. I enjoy it. I got three things. This is one of the things. And to you poets out there, that's a purpose also. That was one of the things that E posted that really stood out to me. You don't realize how the gift that you was given, the gift of those words, you might take it for granted, but those are people that are hearing that stuff and it moves people. That is a purpose. So don't be so quick to discount it or put it to the side. That's a gift. Not everyone has that, so try to hold on to it, or share it. So again, I'd like to thank Tam. Secondly, again, I want to thank everybody for hanging in there with us so far. We're enjoying it. We're making moves, trying to do different things. We're going to keep coming up with different ideas. You can now catch us on a lot of the different platforms. Nike got us everywhere. The last one,
Amazon. We on
YouTube and Spotify.
All them joint. Hey, we everywhere except Apple, and we working on that.
Say it again, Tam.
I didn't know it was on Spotify.
We're on Spotify now. So lastly, I was gonna pop it on her. Let me cut the music down. I was gonna pop it on a sneak joint, but we decided not to. So we asked her, and we gave her a heads up that we were gonna ask her. So since we have the wordsmith with us this evening, Tam, would you?
I thought we was out of time. I said I thought we was out of time. No, I'm good.
Is she muted?
No,
wait a minute. Oh, it's just me. I'm muted.
There's that gremlin again. There's that gremlin.
I done turned the volume down. I'm like, maybe I can hear anything.
Oh my God. That gremlin be having us.
All right, here we go. Bam. Did the music stop? All right. Tam, can you take us out? Can you take us out with some words of your choice with a piece?
Be all of that. Be fake hair and long lashes. Give 7 lashes with swift tongues. Be ghetto fabulous. Be throwing and catching them words with them hands. Be all of that. Love God, but let them know that you don't play that shit. Be reserved on Monday morning. By Sunday, let them know that you had to pray, not to have to smack a bitch. Be pretty, period. Tell them to relax about your hair being relaxed. That perm don't stop you from supporting the facts, taking it in, throwing up a fist. That's black. Be all of that. You could be a queen with bad bitch tendencies if you wanted to. Don't let labels change your style. Stay true to you. Be comfortable. They say your presence in the room make you unapproachable. That has more to do with them and less to do with you.
Yeah.
Be unapologetically black as fuck. Wear your fro to a job interview, put a bow in it and say that I am gifting this to you like a Fendi bag and a bad attitude. Be all of that. Be GED to PhD and still run shit. Be muffin top fit like fuck it, you gonna get all of this. Be polyamorous and monogamous as long as you love yourself in every relationship. Get up from that table when love is no longer being served, and that's in every manual from the hood to the burbs. Say word.
Word.
You can just because he gotta have it don't mean he want it from you. She got choices. You hearing voices. Your little man must got you fooled. You got to learn how to play the game in order to shoot your shot. Her facial cues is her defense. This means you're being blocked. She mean mug. You like smile beautiful. She will when a moment is suitable. Don't be afraid to be all of that. Be that stereotype. They'll tell stories of you to tuck themselves in at night like white babies sucking blessings from black breasts. Shit, they know we best. Stay on your college shit like we the best. Pat your weave, pick your fro, stroke your locks. They think you don't know you hot. They think you blinded by the plot. Let them think all of that. Don't fall into that imposter syndrome. You deserve all of your accolades from your hood to your throne. Drink your whiskey.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hip hop and dynasty. Make sure you get paid, get slayed, get laid in the best way. Tag all of your friends in your Me Too hashtags and pick yourself up and get yourself back. Be all of that.
Nice,
Yeah.
yo.
Yeah.
That's
all
right. Listen,
Lady
yo.
Sarcasm. I like that.
Lady Sarcasm, y'all. Pick up the CD,
That's
but
the
listen.
black girl banger for the summer. Get that.
That's what spoken word is, y'all. That's spoken word, Philly style.
That's what's up.
Thank you for joining us, y'all. We're gonna see y'all next week. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We need this. The more subscriptions we get, the further we can take it. We're gonna keep at it. We're enjoying it. We hope that you're enjoying it and getting something from it. We see y'all next week. Peace out.
Peace out.